All right. So good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? We good? Everybody getting set up and ready to go for today? All right. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and it is November 2nd, 2022. We are live here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We have a room full of eager traders waiting to get ready for the trading session today. And we're going to take a look at what the market is offering in regards to opportunity today. So stay tuned. We'll take a look at just what we have on deck, and we'll talk through a couple of opportunities. We'll also talk through the most important news catalyst today, which is going to be the FOMC meeting. So, as always, let's take a look at our SPX expected move. The reason we're doing this, it is Wednesday. We've gone through two trading sessions since our weekly expected move had been printed. And we're going to take a look and see how the volatility's been over the past couple of sessions. You'll notice that yesterday we did pull away from our Friday close. So the market was retreating back inside into previous trading ranges just in preparation for this catalyst. Little bit of a technical rejection as well, 3,900, pretty key level for a lot of previous monthly pivots. And we'll take a look at how those levels align with our analysis so far. Remember, for this week, we're still looking at approximately about 118 point expected move for the entire week. And what we're going to look at in just a moment is whether or not the SPX has an opportunity to move that volatility today. We know today is going to be important for back and forth trade whenever this information comes out from the Federal Reserve. And we're going to use that volatility reading to maybe speculate some trade ideas for today's session. So overall, the market's been in line, obviously still just Wednesday, so we have plenty of room left to go. But remember our thesis here, we're getting a lot of upside breaches on the expected move. And for the bulls, they're certainly look to sort of reclaim that psychological 4,000 print. That would obviously require a little bit more bullish momentum, and maybe the catalyst today will provide that opportunity. So shifting into the SPY, quickly just double checking here, we're all set. Okay. So shifting into the SPY, a couple of notes. We're still forming this corrective wave in regards to our CPI lows back in the mid of October into November. We have reclaimed a significant portion of our sell-off. You know, if you're talking relative price, the S&P, if purchased in the mid of September, you're basically at the same price as today. And that's usually what can kind of fool and frustrate a lot of participants, is the tone of the market, the sentiment, the overall feel of how trade should be occurring, especially after encountering such a deep sell swing. A lot of traders still expect that follow through, and when the market doesn't give it, it can provide a little bit of frustration. Obviously, the positioning is relative to that as well. We're not really seeing a new fresh fear low, but instead we're seeing a lot of volatility reduction, you know, in terms of VIX and volatility futures. We're also seeing the actual marketplace sort of grind higher. And it's been a great period of time for intraday trade. You'll notice a lot of the SPY ranges are quite wide, but overall positioning into it has been a little challenging because it's questionable whether to be a pure bull, bear, or somewhere in between, kind of looking for those moments to snipe the market. I will say from the technical side, as we're kind of digging into some shorter term time frames, I'll pull up about 180-day 4-hour just to show some of that nuance. Remember where we are in the S&Ps. I've talked through, there was a 3-day balance range that occurred in September. And marking those highs and lows has been beneficial for trade that's occurring today. You'll notice yesterday we actually gapped into the balance range highs. The market was unable to sustain that momentum and basically continue forward. And most of yesterday's session was net bearish, a little bit of a fade, lots of downside in technology names, and just mega market caps were the ones leading to the downside. So the rules of engagement here are exactly the same as what we've encountered before. We know where our levels exist. They've been marked on previous impulsive waves to the downside. They're marked by balance ranges. Those are where participants are going to be the most active. And it can show more clearly when you look at volume profile readings. These are where participants have put on risk. So in order for that risk to be expressed or basically exploded through price, you definitely want to see clear breaches. And usually you want to see things actually consolidate for a period of time, building up that energy once again, and then releasing it through a breakout or a breakdown. So the goal of that type of analysis is not necessarily to say short at the high, buy at the low. The idea is that if you see a session responding well to those levels, you should be looking to engage with the market relative to that trend. And usually that's going to provide your best risk to reward, your best opportunity. Usually it's going to define the entire session. So, got real quiet in here all of a sudden. So we're looking at the SPY. We're coming into a very important day for driving order flow. So it can be worthwhile to be looking at a few option expected move readings relative to today's trade. We'll start off today by looking at the SPX, kind of the quintessential option market for the SPY. And when we're looking at today's session, November 2nd, we want to see what the option market is deriving volatility to be for today. Is it elevated? Yes. Obviously, we know that there's a catalyst. That catalyst tends to be binary in some of the directional bias. And oftentimes, you're going to see people hedging, speculating, and ultimately trading around this event using short-term options to define their trade. Therefore, when looking at the expected move today, what we're seeing currently is about a 61, 62 point expected move for the SPX. Now remember, this is not necessarily equivalent to the SPY. And when we look at how the SPX closed yesterday, let's take a look at a short-term time frame here. We closed at about 38.55. So if we're looking at the same metrics as we do on the Monday session, where we mark off the weekly expected move, the SPX has an opportunity high to low relative to today's expected move, which is about 61, 62 points. 38.55, we have a couple of math geniuses in here, plus or minus that should give us our high to low trade today. And what that means is if you speculate the high side, 62 points from yesterday's close brings us exactly in line with yesterday's highs. So don't be surprised to see a retest, a more technical revisit of some of the quote unquote rejection that we got yesterday. If we see a move to the downside, same idea, moving down 62 points from yesterday's close, that would bring us sub 3,800. We'd be looking at about 37, I'll call it 90, just to kind of roughly estimate, and that would be a great downside target. All that said, the market can move much more than what the option market is predicting. This is all about probability. And with the SPX showing this expected move, we have at the very least a higher standard deviation to remain within those bounds today. So if you're thinking about trading any of that reactionary event, if you're maybe looking to kind of step into some of the volatility, ideally similar to earnings, the reaction should realize a lot of that expected move. You should see, for the most part, a significant price candle relative to plus or minus 60 points. And then we should see the market sort of transact in that region, ideally until we get to the press conference 30 minutes later. So that's kind of the core quantitative view of how the SPY and the SPX are going to move today. We can look at the SPY option chain as well. It does have a Wednesday series. And for the SPY, remember this is more based on current prices. There's a little bit of update here, but we are looking to open at about yesterday's close of 384.50. And that means plus or minus 4.8. So we'll just call it $5 high to low. That gives us a lot of range to work with. It's obviously plenty of opportunity if the market can move anywhere near those levels. If we see a breach anywhere outside of that $5 range, be suspicious of it at first. The idea is that the market wants to gravitate back towards where all of the open interest is and where the risk is defined. And as we look kind of at the strike levels here, you'll notice things that are heavy relative to that expected move. If we're at 385, a 380, downside play would be on the put side. We do have about 16,000 open interest. It's not necessarily the heaviest node out there. 376 and 374 stands out as well. That would be our 2x expected move. That would be a breach for today. Similarly to the top side, 390, probably the highest call node that I see until we look $5 ahead, 395. So these open interest nodes indicate that the market has the potential to move outside of its expectation. There's actually participation going on at these further strikes. And with that, we should allow the market to basically define risk, price risk, or otherwise some sort of breakout. And we know if that does occur, another $5 move could be on the table. So it gives us a lot of opportunity. $5 plus or minus, 2x expected move, that would bring us $10 plus or minus on the SPY. You can do this across things like the NASDAQ as well. Not quite as heavily traded as the SPY. The option open interest here is not going to be as significant, but once again, about a $4 to $5 expected move, a little bit lower than the SPY. Closing at 275, coming into about 270 downside with that high open interest, and then 280. So all of our psychological prices relative to the expected move are ready for today's trade. The key is that's what we should be expecting. We shouldn't try to derive more volatility outside of the market proving it to us through breaching those levels. So we need to be careful, not going for home runs when the market only anticipates this much volatility. Okay, so a couple of things for clarification in regards to today's FOMC. Let's see, that's presenting here. I'm not sure if that's going to be on the YouTube side, but when it comes to what the FOMC is expecting today, or the rate hike expectations from the market, according to Fed Fund futures rates, we do have essentially a 1/8 probability of a 50 basis point hike, about 12.5%, and then a 7/8 probability, or 87.5%, of a 75 point basis rate hike. So the numbers are pretty much in line with what we're expecting. 75 points should be, pretty much the norm. If we get a surprise, obviously the market has a little bit of that probability towards a lower rate hike, but more so I would be looking at the language today. If you're tracking how is the Fed's positioning relative to hawkishness, are they discussing the idea of pause, pivot, quote unquote? Are they looking to do anything that is outside of their current game plan? And are they defining time frames relative to that change? These are things that can drive the market order flow today. And to some degree, the market is looking for anything to kind of hang on to keep this rally alive. If that doesn't occur, we might be seeing sort of the beginning of the end of this corrective wave, and we could be seeing a little bit more downside in the next couple of sessions relative to that reaction. So more so today, intraday trade, keeping the volatility constraints in mind, keeping the idea that we might be a little choppy throughout this morning session. Markets don't tend to move heavily whenever we do see, this catalyst in the hopper. A lot of the risk preparation has already been established. We have the option market ready for this event. We could see a little bit of additional volume come through today in the option market, especially. That can drive some of those short-term trades. So if y'all do have some price range establishment, highs and lows, maybe within a kind of $2 to $3 trading range, mostly talking SPY, but it could be any asset at this point. Those levels might be driven by a little bit of option volume. If we find those, that piece of information, that would be a great place to set up new trade and basically be prepared for the eventual 2 o'clock reaction. So these are things I'm kind of looking at today for myself. I think it would be ideal for us to kind of prepare for that as well. Okay, quick review of some of the risk elements that we've been looking through. We've got our interest rates. So I'll be looking at something like a 10-year. We've been coming off over the past week and a half. That's been one of the drivers of bullish trade, especially in growth and technology names. If we're looking at just a 10-year, we're actually trading at 4% once again. We had a high of about 4.33%. We've pulled back in pretty quickly as well. It's kind of a risk reversal trade. And so far we're trading at approximately 4%. I would expect the bond market to be a bit sensitive to today's catalyst. So if you are looking to maybe take advantage of one aspect of the market over another, maybe y'all are focusing in on tech names, maybe looking for some growth swing opportunities, keep a close eye on what rates are doing today. This risk reversal has been ideal for short term, but remember, we're still in a very strong, very impulsive uptrend at the moment, and we have not changed trends. So this would be something to kind of keep you cautionary, thinking that things are going to stabilize if we do see another uptick in rates. Obviously, if you want to trade something like the bond market, there's quite a few ETFs for that. TLT, IEF, they all have sort of a blend of short, well, in this case, medium and long-term treasury exposure. And then there's, forget the last one, but there's a couple more options out there, quote unquote, to take advantage of that move. If we're looking at volatility, now remember, I like to look at vol futures for this. A lot of our upside has been correlated with a reduction in short-term volatility future pricing. There's been this idea that we constantly review, the idea that this market goes through cycles. Those cycles are often driven by, I can move my, for some reason I can't move this. There we go. Okay. This marketplace is driven by cycles. It goes through periods of expansion, and usually we call that things like going into backwardation, where volatility is expanding across the market. And then it goes through periods of contraction. Usually this market will go into a more normalized curve of contango otherwise. Past couple of weeks, we've gotten back to our normal curve structure. It's not significant. It's not a very significant skew between the active contract, which I just having trouble getting the view to expand here, but the active contract, which is currently priced at about 26, versus something like the December contract, 26.13. We're in contango. It's a normal curve structure, but it's very slight. And what that means is if we see a reversion back into a period of, backwardation, or even just flattening out this curve even further, we can see a bit more erratic trade. That's going to be things like a little bit more of a bearish tone. We might see a lot of wider sell and buy swings, and we might even find ourselves in another volatility box, kind of like what we traded throughout most of October. So for today, not necessarily something to monitor closely, but if you are looking to maybe set up some future trade, maybe even to hedge a little bit of this eventual catalyst, today would be the day. We're in a good enough market to where you can look to buy a little bit of vol exposure, and that can be through the option market. That can be through something as simple as the VIX, just getting a little bit of a hedge in your portfolio in the case that we start to correct once again and go back to the downside. So that's our volatility look at the moment. Let's say last but not least, the thing that most people have been focused on has been the dollar. And for this one, obviously notice things like some of the patterns that are forming. We have formed a weekly consolidation pattern. This is where we're getting very mild breaches of trend, something like a weekly lower high and a lower low, but we're remaining elevated. So overall, a lot of traders would kind of agree this looks more like a flag. Consolidation after large expansion. The key that I think is important here is where is the dollar priced relative to previous dates? What levels are we still at? And for that, you can basically say something like the dollar priced at about a 111 on this particular index. That's about the same readings as we had in early October. So obviously the market's been priced higher relative to the correlation effect of the dollar itself. But if we see another significant move in this particular asset, if we start to see some of that fear and some of the driving factors of how dollar strength can affect the entire equity marketplace, that alone can provide that fuel back to the downside. Not to say that I'm looking pure bearish here, but there's still a tone of risk in this market. We can't ignore what we've been dealing with recently, and we also need to acknowledge that it can easily turn once again back in favor of, in this case, the bears. So I think that's pretty much all we got for today. We certainly have a lot of review of different assets, and we've got our pre-market prep to start reviewing some of the gappers this morning. A little bit of additional information coming from some of our Chinese tickers, along with just a kind of general decent looking gappers list. I won't say it's amazing, but it's not too bad. So, so with all that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Market. Everybody say hello for YouTube. Give us a clap. Come on, give me some more. Keep it going. Keep it going. All right. So thanks, everybody. Trade safe today. Stay tuned for pre-market prep, and we'll talk more after the session's over.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Nora, I want to do a quick sound check before we get started.
Yeah, good morning, brother.
All right. Loud and clear. Um,
You're not in the chat room, bud.
oh, okay. Let's make sure chat is good. All right. Chat, we want to make sure you guys can hear us okay?
Can you hear me? Is there an
Yep.
echo?
No echo. No echo, but there is some background noise, but besides that, no echo.
Okay,
I'm
as
not
long
getting an
as you don't
echo.
hear the as long as you don't hear the echo,
No, we're
and
good.
they're hearing the echo.
Who's hearing the echo?
What?
All right, guys, over on YouTube, you should be hearing me okay with no issues. We're gonna try to figure out what is the echo is coming from Norris Systems. Just give us a second while we figure this out. First time we were doing this, and hey, good morning, Vince. And what will happen is as we do this, we will learn, right? We'll get better and better as we do things like this. So thank you for your patience today as we get ready to rock and roll. In the meantime, over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already,
Can
hit
you
that
hear me
thumbs
now?
up over for Jared. Yeah, hear loud and clear.
Okay. Hopefully, we'll just have to deal with it a little bit. Sorry if there's a little bit of an echo. We're trying to take it down.
Okay, you got it. All right, guys. Everyone, good morning. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday, although the markets were pretty tough yesterday. And good morning to everyone over there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So, with that said, let's take a quick look here at our gappers list this morning. Also, big thumbs up for Jared engineering the markets. Our gappers list this morning, as he mentioned, not a blockbuster list. Um, but you can see here we got a couple of names that are going to be interesting today, and of course the elephant in the room, guys, the FOMC, and Norm will talk about that in just a little bit. So some stuff in the green. I see a lot of Chinese tickers gapping up this morning, and then some stuff in the red as well. I believe with some earnings on this side of the field.
Yeah,
So
it's primarily earnings in China. So as you mentioned, we've got the Fed a little bit later, but yeah, so 8:15 we had the ADP employment report. Came out quite a bit stronger than expected, and wages way up. So that caused us to sink. You can look at the 5 and you see right there at 8:15 when that hit. We sank. We've got rental vacancy rate at 10. 2 o'clock, we've got of course, the policy announcement as always. The second day of the meeting at 2 p.m. and then Jay Powell's press conference at 2:30. So
all right, perfect. Yeah, I see that the echo picked up there. So yeah, guys, so that is what we have right now. So it's going to be a very interesting day, of course, on how that is going to build up and change things. And obviously, this list, will get crazy as we get closer to the open as well. All right, let's take a look at some of our gappers list this morning. Actually, the stuff from yesterday. Just look at this list quickly. We had Carvana on deck, which actually had one initial move towards the upside here, nice open range breakout. Then from there, it just didn't do a whole lot. It was very, very choppy, guys. I mean, the chop on this thing, and this is why I don't like Carvana. Even with news yesterday, they still didn't trade all that well. We had Uber as well, and again, it was a real tough day. You can see Uber here, just more on the choppier side. Didn't get a sell off like some of the tickers that we had yesterday, like Tesla, SoFi, and Amazon. These three were just incredible. They were on our list, and you can see Amazon just the insane sell off. SoFi as well. This thing had gapped up about was it like 14 or like about 7% or so, and just gave it all back at the market open, right, and continue. And then Tesla was another clean one as well, not right out of the gates, but you can see the nice sell off here, hitting on the moving averages all the way down to 228. Nvidia and some other ones were on the choppier side. The price action here, guys, was brutal. I mean, I tried to take a long here. Thank God I didn't get in because it was just so bad, so bad. So we'll see. Leading up to these type of meetings and big events, this tends to happen where things are just sideways a little bit. Norm, you speak on this a lot, where it's better to kind of just ease off the pedal a little bit and wait for the news to break out. So we'll see what today brings, and we'll see what our gappers list will give us this morning.
yeah, I think taking it a slow today would be prudent.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, All right, let's clear on our list from yesterday. And let's take a look at our gappers list this morning, starting with ARCT. And this looks, yeah, this doesn't look good at all. I think we've seen this in the past too. It is not a great intraday trading ticker. Very light on volume, guys. I mean, if you look at this, what are we doing? An average of 300,000 shares a day. So that's no fun. They're gapping up 33% today. So they have some news, but I don't think any news can make this a great trader for us. So I'm going to go ahead and skip on this one. Let's move over to
Can I give us our first live in person? No, no, no.
yes, give the first no.
Well, I just did.
Absolutely. Here is Lee, guys. Lee and many of the other Chinese tickers this morning. Lee, you got Billy, you got JD, you got XPEV. The whole cast is here. PDD, Baba. I don't see Neo. How come Neo is not on here? They are usually.
We've got overall Chinese macro news, them saying they might ease COVID restrictions, their zero COVID policy in
Okay.
April of next year. So what's the point of that?
Right. So again, all of them gapping down today. Neo actually sold off great yesterday too. I did not take advantage of this one, but I had a nice sell off yesterday into the after the market open. So
Their October deliveries came in weaker than expected. So, and they've got some production issues because of the COVID lockdowns.
okay, all right. So definitely not a good look for them there. But a few of them gapping up, except Neo. Maybe that's why, because the numbers were not great. They're right at their previous day close line. They're actually up this morning and sold back down. Might be going into the red. So out of the Chinese tickers, again, Baba and Neo tend to trade the best. So I will be looking at these guys and just kind of see what happens here. Might not stay on this main list. I think we'll find something better to trade. But for now, I think these can be really good, especially Baba, guys. I mean, look at it yesterday too. It took a bit to get going, but a nice sell-off as well into the close. So if you're trading into the later parts of the day, you can take advantage of that. All right. AMD on. All right. Yes. AMD earnings last night, right, Norm? I mean, how do we do here on AMD? We're not red, so that's a good sign for AMD. We'll throw them on here.
Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they still got the semiconductor problems going on that they have, but yeah, maybe that's one of the tradable things this morning.
You versus you says I'm 10% owner of Neo. It has been great the last couple of months, but no, not you can't own that stock. No way. AMD. So yeah, AMD in play today, guys. 1.8 million shares traded. So you got tons of volume on this thing.
Absolutely, I do like the daily coming up above the 20 moving average. So
Yeah,
see if it
right
can
above
hold
the
that. If it
62.
can hold that and confirm, we might have something that way.
Yeah, I agree. I like it above 62 as well. I like the daily. So AMD getting a nice little pop this morning. TRQ, this is garbage, guys. This is nothing to see here. I mean, just horrible pre-market action, no volume. Daily is brutal. Let's move down to, we took care of the Chinese tickers. I picked Neo and Baba. You could look at any of these, XPEF, Billy, whatever is your preference. But I think they're all moving on the same news. Neo, though, not as gap as up this morning as the rest of these that are doing decent numbers as far as gap up and down. GSK, we've seen this in our list plenty of times. Again, doesn't trade very well. I think it's foreign, Norm. I think this thing, what is this? GSK, yeah.
GlaxoSmithKline, it's just impossible to trade.
Yeah. So we'll leave that alone. Let's see what's gapping down this morning. ROG, this is wow, getting smacked this morning, down 42%. So someone's getting fired here. I mean, this is just not right. Norm, what's the news on this thing?
This just popped up, so I didn't notice it. There was a buyout. There's some other issue. They're canceling a buyout issue. They were going to get bought out, and it's announced they're not going to. So, is this the
Okay.
same? I don't know. Is this Tim Rogers that handles the communications, the Wi-Fi or the internet for Canadians that are here in the audience?
Peter will know.
I'm not getting a thumbs up or down. Is it the same company? It is the same company.
All right. Again, huge gap down. I just don't think they're a great trader. Their volume is horrible, by the way. So again, without volume, guys, it becomes real tough to trade the way we do, right? We need that volatility and that volume. Today, you might see that, but I'm not giving this a whole lot of hope. TUP, this is Tupperware, which trades horrible. We know this because it was a time where it was really in play. If you guys remember this one, obviously after COVID, this thing kind of took off, was very active. I mean, it was just insane. But they don't trade well, especially under $5 here. I mean, it's a horrible ticker. I'm assuming earnings norm on this one.
Yeah, they had it was pretty bad. This is essentially like your Tupperware in the bottom of your dishwasher, it all melted.
Oh,
It's bad. Don't stay away from it.
yeah. So no good here, guys. I don't see anything great there. ZI this morning, down 22%. Also another one that doesn't look great on the daily. So I don't expect a whole lot out of it. The pre-market action does look a bit active. So I do like what I'm seeing there, 255,000. Maybe we could get something out of this, guys. But for the most part, if you look at the daily, it's not ideal. And I'm hoping we get something better. Let's throw it as a possible. We can always come back to this and see how this is moving. ENVX, this is down 19%, 286,000. Pre-market activity looks very active, especially here after 740. So this could be something. The daily, I'm not a big fan of. The volume is not great. You have a couple of days where you actually did something decent here. Is it hit or miss? We'll come back to this. Let's put it on here. We'll take a second look at it. EL this morning, no, this is no good. No, skip on this.
Yeah, very tough trader.
Yeah. GOOS. Oh, we've seen this one before too. Another one that doesn't trade. Man, this list is, where's my garbage can? Let's get the garbage can out here. This list is just brutal right now. So nothing good on the gap down list at the moment. Everything is just looking a little bit trashy here. Paramount Pictures, do we have some kind of news? These guys are gapping down 8.5, 1 million shares traded tonight.
They had earnings this morning. Their guidance was pretty bad. I don't think it was unexpected. The ad market is just kind of falling apart. So.
Yeah, ads are if you're in the ad business marketing, you're hurting because it's just everyone is cutting back. PARA this morning there, 1 million, again down 8.5. Let's keep it as a possible. It does not trade very well. I know it can do a couple of things at times, but it's not the best intraday trading stock that we've seen. Airbnb this morning, earnings last night. This could be good actually. At earnings, Airbnb can have some good play. So I do like this one for today. Again, now I'm going to say I'm going to put it on my main list.
Pop over to Baba or PDD or Billy or any of the Chinese stocks. The government just came out and reiterated that they're not going to be changing the COVID policy I just mentioned a moment ago. So they're all diving on this.
Wow, look at this drop right here, guys. We were up like 6% on this thing, or 5%. Look at this. We're down now to the previous day close. And you're going to see all these guys quickly follow here. Yeah, there they go. They're disappearing from our gap up list. And they're probably going to pop up over here in our gap down. So, yeah, that is not nice. NEO now down 1.4. These things are going to be in play today. So definitely Baba and NEO in play this morning. And man, just look at this dropper we are getting here. So very interesting there. We'll keep those on deck. TWLO this morning, down 2.6. Not ideal. Not a whole lot of volume. You're not going to get a whole lot on this, by the way, pre-market. It's sitting on New York Stock Exchange. They tend not to get great volume. DVN. And DVN also another one that we've seen, Devon Energy, not ideal neither. It's not a great trader. All right, there we have it. Norm, we'll start with you. What do you like this morning so far?
I mean, Tesla and Nvidia have been, I mean, obviously there's stuff we look at all the time, but they've been particularly good the last few days. So,
okay. Looking at Tesla here.
China COVID stuff too. So,
right, because they're factories, right? Factories are over there, so that's going to hurt them as well, even though they're not a Chinese ticker. Yeah, so think about anyone that's going to be hurt with their production. You know, they can also be affected by this. And you see here Tesla dropping, and they had a.
I don't have it open, but Apple, I would guess as well, with Foxconn places getting hit.
Yeah.
So check that one.
Yeah, you know, if you're doing production in China, you know, it's going to affect your numbers here. So you can see even Apple getting affected by this as well. Speaking of Apple, we'll add this to the list. Does look good for today. And I'm also going to add Tesla. They had an incredible sell-off on yesterday. Yesterday, their sell-off was slightly aggressive here. Took off, little fake out, and then just kind of slammed down here. So Tesla looking good for today as well. All right, let's take it to the room, guys. What do you guys like this morning? And Norm, if you have anyone over there throwing some tickers out, let me know. We can definitely take a look at them. Let's start with Jonathan.
I will ask the room right now, and I'll get back to you in just a minute. You hit the room, and then we'll go.
All right, perfect. Jonathan, NEO drop. Yeah, NEO is on deck. And again, everything like Baba and Lee, PDD, JD, all these guys are going to be taking a hit pretty soon here. as this is not great news for them. Amazon, yeah, Amazon, huge sell-off yesterday. So let's take a look at that one. This morning they are got great volume, pretty much flat right now, but I do like this 2 million shares traded. So I definitely like down Amazon. I'm gonna make some room here. I'm gonna put this on my list there. So Amazon is good. Our usual suspects list, Nvidia, um, very light volume. I did not watch this one yesterday. What did it actually do? Yeah, you have some tickers. They were either really great. Amazon, Neo had a great sell-off. Tesla, or they were really bad, like this one here. I mean, they just were very, very choppy. And the reason we say that, guys, for anyone new, is you could tell by the wicks. When you have these type of wicks here, you see how wicky this is. I mean, you just don't get no continuation, and this is horrible for us day traders. You don't want to see that, right? Eventually here, look at the difference, how better this gets. That is what you want to see, some nice white candles, some flow to things. This is nice, but this open was just brutal, right? It's just very difficult to trade that type of a chart pattern there. So NVIDIA, I'm not on the fence, Fabio, on NVIDIA. I'm going to put this on a secondary for now. I think our list is looking a little bit better at the moment. NVIDIA could change. They're going to get the volume. But for now, I'm going to put them on the secondary list. CVS today. This one I am definitely not a fan of. They trade horrible, even with earnings, with news, whatever they got going on. They are a very, very choppy stock, Michael. So I'm going to keep them off my list. I've seen you guys trade this very well. So I'm not saying you shouldn't take it off yours, but definitely on mine, it's not going to have a space for this one. Paramount short, yeah, Paramount is on my secondary list. Yeah, they got great volume today, and man, they are continuing to drop. You know what? If we have space, we'll do levels for this, because this is a big drop for these guys. I mean, if you go back, it's just there's, like Andrew would say, there's no mercy for Paramount here. It is just getting crushed. Norm, what do we have in the room? Anyone likes? Oh, Norm has his headphones on. I don't know if you could hear me. Oh, he could. So he'll let me know if we have any tickers that we want to check out over there. And in the meantime, let's go over to, let's see if we have one here.
Nope, nothing you haven't already discussed.
All right, very good. Let's take it over to our YouTube chat, guys. If you haven't done so already, it's a great time to hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very, very much. Apple is good. It's on deck. Tesla is on deck. Are you saying good morning or GM? I think you're saying good morning, Andrew Brewster. What else we have?
Good morning.
Yeah, because I hope it's good morning, because GM. Oh, no. We're not looking at this today. All right. I think we are set, guys. Let's go over to our community events and announcement.
All right, we had one come in. Can you take a look at Uber?
All right, let's take a look at Uber. Uber is slightly down. This actually is pretty flat right now. Here's the issue with Uber, guys. We had the pop yesterday, right? And we had to sell off the day before. And I don't think today they're going to trade all that well unless they start closing this gap. Uber, after news, they'll do a little something, and then it's just kind of go flat. They're not great intraday trading ticker. Yesterday, we saw some really good action, actually, pre-market and also into the open. We'll have to see. It could be a hit or miss, actually. It could really be a hit or miss. I don't like how light the volume is this morning. But again, with nicey stocks, you really can't just look at the volume.
I didn't see who called that in. Jared let me know, but I just wanted to thank whoever the brave soul was in the audience that might have gotten a no and a dumpster fire live.
Oh man,
you didn't, but thank you.
All right, guys. Actually, we got some great pictures. We got a little bit of time. We got some good pictures already.
I just threw you a really good one too in the in our chat.
In our chat, okay.
No, on the messaging.
On the messaging, okay. We'll take a look at this one here. So just kind of look at some of the stuff going on there. This is Jared earlier today. It's just kind of engineering the market. So great to have the room there. Another shot over here. And if you want to stay up to date with what's happening, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of pictures being shared today throughout the day, guys, follow Andrew at Bearboot Traders, at Bearboot Traders on Twitter. And you can see here we got a video of the setup. Everybody's getting ready with their computers to trade live, so that is nice. And then we also got our runners early this morning. We had a team that went out to run. I see Thor there. I see some moderators are on there, Peter in the back there. So yeah, so definitely follow at Bearboot Traders, and definitely keep in touch with the pictures. And if you are there in the event,
finishers right there. That's who that group of 5 is. The ones that went the full. What'd you guys go 7 miles?
Nice.
About 6 or 7 miles. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So, guys, and if you're at the event and you're taking pictures, please tag Andrew because we would love to see them and retweet those. So definitely tag them so at least everyone can see them. So thank you for that. All right, great, guys. Let's get to community events and announcements, and then we will come back and fine tune this list.
All right, guys, I'm going to be a little quick on this because of the room and the audio. It's a little confusing and difficult to do. So there we go. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we've got Carlos doing onboarding and technology. Especially if you're a new member, great place to go. Start out, get your foot in the door. Reminder, you don't have to be a member to do it. You can go to VariableTraders.com. On the homepage at the top, put your email in. You'll get a reminder just a few hours before that class on Monday to be able to go and attend it. And on Tuesday, we focus on strategy. Next week is Thor talking about VPA and the how. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then the following week, Peter, that will be at 8 p.m. as well, creating and maintaining a trading journal. I don't know that there's a better expert on the planet for a trading journal as Peter. I think you do 5 of them all at the same time. Only 3 these days. Only 3. He's cut it back. All right. Tonight we've got Dr. Kenneth Reed talking about handling pressure. That's at 5 o'clock Eastern special time, so we can record it here from Florida. And then next week, Creta at 5 p.m. as well because of her time zone. She's going to be talking about how to identify negative thinking. Guys, I've heard, I just side note on Creta, be sure to attend that if you get a chance. I've heard some phenomenal comments out of people here that have worked with her one-on-one just in the last 24 hours. So check that out. All right. Mentorship on Thursdays, John at 11 a.m. and Thor at 8. The schedule might be a little bit disrupted because of travel tomorrow. Just a heads up, but that's our normal times. We've got tradingterminal.com that we are working on and improving and expanding every single day. Everything, it's really your one-stop shop for trading information from your earnings calendar, heat map. You've got research, news, scanners, and stocktradingsimulator.com can be reached directly through there. It's our free web-based replay simulator that you can go to hone your trading skills 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for free. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't been in the chat, you'd like to give it a try, go to variabletraders.com and click the intro membership. It's 7 calendar days, 5 trading days in the room. Use the promo code PreMarket24. It's a one-time payment, doesn't recur, and you'll get a discount. If you're looking to become an elite member, you can use the promo code READ50 to get half off the elite annual membership and a free one-on-one coaching session with Dr. Kenneth Reed.
All right. Thank you very much, Nora. Appreciate that.
You got it. Over and out. Take care, brother.
All right. Take it easy, man. Talk to you soon. All right, guys, let's take a look at our watch list here. Let's do some levels and let's get rocking and rolling for the market open this morning. So we have the 2 Chinese tickers, BABA and NEO, both taking a dive here, especially BABA going into the red and bouncing back a little bit this morning. Volume is great after this move here, already 894,000. So looking forward to that. NEO, same thing, volume 1.4 million. So that is looking very good there. We have AMD here with up 2.1. Again, earnings last night, and these guys are in the green. So that's always good to see. We have Apple as well, good volume, kind of overdoing what the overall market is. This drop is because also, right, Chinese closures will affect their production in their factory. So that's going to affect them there slightly. Same thing with Tesla as well. So if you see this drop here in many tickers around 840 is because of production issues if they have factories overseas. And then we have Amazon here as well, which has, again, good volume, 2.1 million shares traded. And Amazon, guys, I mean, they are just not having a great time. They hit 104, 105 the last 2 trading days after the gap down here. And then now they just kind of erased this entire move they had here a few days ago. So and actually this morning they're flat. They're really not bouncing back from this. So Amazon is very, very interesting, guys. I think we're gonna see some good action out of this one, especially if they decide to sell off some more into that 95 area. I think that can be very exciting and create a lot of opportunities for us. So definitely like them this morning, and they've been trading very, very clean. Again, it does not get cleaner than this. I know it's not a great chart as far as it being a positive, but look how clean this was. I mean, just incredible. So not saying we're going to get that today, but looking forward to them being active this morning. All right, let's set levels, guys. We'll start with Baba. We're going to go ahead, zoom in here in our daily. At the moment, highs and lows of the last two trading days doing a pretty good job here in this area. And you kind of been stuck in this range with Baba. Outside this one huge drop we had here down to 57. As far as highs and lows from the pre-market, you're pretty much covered here. I think just put the low that we just created here, 65.26. We'll slam a level there. And then high of the pre-market at the moment is going to be at 68.25, another level there as well. And I think you're pretty much set inside this range. Outside of this range, if you were to break out of the 68.30 and below the previous day close 65-ish, we're looking at some levels here, 69.78, and then we're also looking down at 61.86. So I'm just going to add these two levels. If for some reason we're able to break out of this range, we can always look and find more levels towards the top and bottom. Right now, we're kind of right on the middle of things. So let's see how this news is going to react once we get into the market open. So not a good catalyst for them this morning, or at least not a great headline for them to start their day. Here is NEO. NEO's daily trying to find a base here, guys, at 973. I mean, right where the price action is, right where your previous day close is. It's trying to stay above this, but obviously the Chinese government is not helping these guys. 956 low of the pre-market at the moment. Huge drop all the way to 837 on NEO. I mean, hard to believe, but yeah, 837 there just a couple of days ago. And outside of that, I think you're pretty much set, guys. Highs and lows from the last two trading days. Another one that gapped up pretty nice and kind of sold off a little bit. So I wonder if that news, because you had the same sell-off on Tesla, I wonder if that Chinese news was kind of out a little bit yesterday on these two, because they had a pretty nice sell-off there, as you can see. So we'll see how the market is going to treat these guys today. One that we're going to hopefully enjoy this morning is going to be AMD here. High of the pre-market 63.62. So we'll slam a level there. You can see how you do have some levels of support and resistance here on the daily as well. Above that, we have another great level of support and resistance over at 68.11. A slight midpoint here, which I think is worth marking down, 66.13. We will slam a level there as well. And I think you're pretty much set, guys. Towards the bottom, I mean, we've been stuck in this range for a while, for the last 5-6 days. And before that, this support line here was the resistance. You can see that here as well. So again, major support there. We're breaking out of that now. Finally, let's see if this can hold and we can test some of these other levels up here. Again, don't forget FOMC meeting today. So be on the lookout for some wild moves after those numbers come out. Here is Apple. Apple this morning, again, down slightly right now, 1.1, affected a little bit by the Chinese production situation there. 148.45 is the low of the pre-market. And if we look towards the bottom here, I'm going to slam another level over at 145. And then a great level here at 142.64. Outside of that, I mean, towards the top, guys, highs and lows, previous day closed. You have everything you need up here. Do not make this complicated. Keep it nice and simple. And those levels are doing that for you there. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla as well, dropping yesterday and this morning. We are pretty much flat, just hanging right below the previous day close. The low of the day at the morning, or the low of the pre-market, 226.27. And then once you put that level in there, I mean, you have your pre-market pretty close to the high of 2 days ago. I mean, you have a lot going on here already. I'm trying to see where else we can put a level that makes sense, that we're not making this too complex. But here we have 233.48. That could be a good one there. And then outside of that, I think you're set, guys, on Tesla. So let's see what it does. This level for Tesla, by the way, right over here, this previous day close, it loves to hang out here. We saw that during this stretch. I mean, it just kept coming back to this 230. What is this? 227 is the previous day close. So it loves this here. It has had resistance in the past. Every time it breaks out of it, finds a way to come right below it again. It did it here, here, and here. And we're at that point right now. We're really right on it this morning with the price action. So interesting stuff there. Let's see what Tesla decides to do. Just in case we are going to have a sell-off on this Chinese news, right? Because we had the initial reaction already. Now we're just kind of, sometimes things overreact, they come back. Let's see if that's going to create any continuation. 216 will be another level we have here on the daily for Tesla. Amazon going back into the green after creating a new low down at 96.50. So now they're above the previous day close at the moment. And again, just this daily on Amazon, very, very interesting, especially the sell-off yesterday, guys, from 104 all the way down to 96, as low as 90, 95, 99 there. So again, very, very active on the daily as well. High of the pre-market, we're sitting at 97.67. We're not doing a whole lot this morning, just kind of sideways action, slightly above the previous day close. So we'll see where that ends up today. But Amazon is interesting. I mean, when's the last time we were down here? We lost this great level of support just recently, right? With the gap down. We blew right through that and we kind of came back up for it, trying to stay above that 105. Couldn't do it. And today we're just getting, yesterday we got slammed and today it's not looking all that positive. So Amazon, very, very interesting. Let's take a look at our secondary list and see if there's anything here that might be worth taking a look at or moving up or adjusting. Airbnb, you're not going to know much about Airbnb into the market open. It usually does this. It reacts to whatever it's doing right now, earnings, and then you just got to wait for the volume to come in and see what it does at the market open. It kind of reminds me a little bit of stocks sitting on the New York Stock Exchange where you're not getting a whole lot pre-market, but it will move. Is it going to move with volume? That's the key. Airbnb can be very light on volume. If you're not getting great volume, it can be a very tough trader, just like anything, but especially Airbnb can be very choppy. Paramount has great volume. On the other hand, 1.2 million. Good drop here. Again, sometimes it can be very choppy, so I'm not a big fan of this one. We'll have to see. ZI is starting to drop some more here since we came live. So again, it's just a daily on this, and the volume is so bad. I'm concerned that even though this looks good here, we might not see great action after the market opens. So we'll see. We'll give it a little more time. ENVX, nothing great there. NVIDIA still sideways, not a whole lot. It is up 1.5, and I do like the daily on it, right? So, let's not completely dismiss it. But yeah, this is definitely worth still keeping an eye on, like a top possible. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got 6 already. Maybe we'll move either NEO or BABA down and move NVIDIA up if it starts to pick up here. But again, daily looks very nice, especially above this 138. That could be interesting. And Uber, yeah, someone mentioned Uber on YouTube as well. I mean, it's just kind of flat right now, right? Yeah, we had the gap up and we can today maybe get some action up or down. It can go either way. But right now, just looking at the information we have, it doesn't look great at the moment. And Uber's one that you just can't say, yeah, it's going to get great. It's going to start moving. It's going to get the volume. It might not. It might not. Uber's the type of stock that moves great on news, and then after that it can be flat for a couple of days, like you see here, right? Just nothing happening until news starts to break out and you see volume. So all right, perfect, guys. That is our list this morning. We'll wait for the moderators to throw out their list over in the room if they have access to computers, and we will definitely show those to our YouTube friends and see what's going on there. Guys, if you haven't done so already, it's a great time to hit that thumbs up. And if you're live in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, just put your thumb up and show some support for the guys there. So thank you for that. I see Norm sent me another picture, I believe, that I can share here. Let's see if I can pull that up. And again, guys, don't forget, we love to see these pictures, especially us that are not there. So definitely tag @BearBootTraders on the Twitter account, on Instagram, anywhere you go to your social media, so we can also enjoy those as well. Rapsilla, yes, I wish I was there as well, my friend. I had to change plans last minute, but there'll be more. There'll be more. So next time we will definitely be there to enjoy you guys. All right, excellent. FRZA, high of the pre-market. Let's take a look. FRZA. Oh, no, man. Listen here. This is gambling right now. You want to gamble, this is it. Just be very, very careful. And let me ask you, do you have a trade book for this? If you don't have a trade book for this, you're not touching this. And I don't know anyone that has a trade book for this. I mean, this is dangerous. You got some crazy volume coming through here. Yeah, I just don't know how you would trade this under $1. So it's got that penny-like, DNA. Just be very, very careful, guys. It's not worth it. I'm telling you, it is not worth it. Up 31%. Yeah, very, very careful. I know, right, Jason? I know. But yeah, just very, very careful with that one. The Fed speak, is it usual time, right? The Fed's coming out at, I think the notes come out at 2, right? And they speak at 2:30. I think it's the same time every time, but someone correct me if I'm wrong on that information. But I think that is the case. Anyone has that information? Oh, it's a 1 Central. So 1 Central, that's 2, right? The notes come out at 2 Eastern time, market time, right? Thanks, Jared. And then I think 1:30 is when Powell comes on and does his thing. So it will be great as usual. It definitely will be exciting. Again, and just a reminder, if you're in a position during that time, be extra cautious. All right, we have some moderators coming in. Let me bring this list over. I have Megan, I have Brian. Brian will be trading with Andrew this morning. Let's see, disable video here. And I'm going to bring this over for our YouTube friends, which we appreciate every single morning joining us here. So thank you for that. All right, let's bring this over. Look at that wild thing go. It's about to go to 230. But again, guys, very, very careful. I'm not that one is so wild. I'm not even going to add it to our risky pile because I think it's just too much. So here we go, guys. Megan, Nvidia, Brian, we're looking at ZI, Paramount, EV, ENVX, Baba, and Yang this morning. Peter's reporting no IPOs, no SPACs for today. And we'll wait for our rest of our moderators to throw out their list here so we can share with you guys. Other than that, guys, we are pretty set this morning. I think we have a great list. Again, just be on the lookout for news coming out, things that can affect the way things are moving today. Here is Andrew's list. Hello from Florida. I'm looking at AMD earnings, Nvidia, Sympathy, Baba, Paramount, ZI, news on earnings, and then our usual suspect. We have Apple, TQQ, Tesla on deck. Jared will be looking at AMD, Baba, FRZA, careful, my friend. That is a wild one. That's on the risky pile for sure. Peter, AMD, and secondary list AMD. But on a serious note, AMD, Apple, Baba, secondary list of Paramount, CVS, and JD for Peter this morning. So excellent, guys, excellent. It's going to be definitely a great day, definitely exciting as this one here continues to break out there. It's going to be very interesting. Where's my AMD? Okay, AMD's here. Yeah, AMD 2.2 million shares traded, up 5.2 right now. So looking very, very exciting. All right, folks. Did I miss anything else? Anything that we're looking at that we didn't get a chance to go over? I think we are good then. All right, guys. We are all set. I'm going to give a little bit more time for the guys down there to get set up because I know they got to change their systems and do all that fun stuff. So we might end now at 9:10. Give a couple of minutes if you guys have any questions that we can answer. And then I'll give the team here a little more time, the team down there a little more time to get all that going. Yeah, Peter, I miss you guys too, man. I miss you guys too. We'll have some more. If this is successful, right? And it already sounds successful. Guys went for a run at 6 in the morning. That to me, if you went for that run, you already are successful for the day. You could just nap the rest of the day. You're good to go. If this is successful, we will do this again. We will definitely do this again. So what we got here? Okay, very good. Eamon here is looking at PFE, potential long, potential short, ARC, and Bank of America for Eamon. So that's looking good there as well. Come to South Florida. Montreal is next. Yeah, guys, let us know where you want to have this meetup, and we will definitely, this workshop, and we will definitely put that together. All right, my friends, we are set here. Thank you for the likes over on YouTube. If we can get a little bit more, we'd definitely appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. And guys, have an amazing day. Another reminder again, 2 o'clock, guys, you got the FOMC minutes coming out, 2:30 Powell speaks. So if you're in a position, be very, very careful. And if you need to get out, get out. If you're close to your entry, be very, very cautious when that happens, because you see how these markets react, how aggressive they can be. With that said, guys, take care, trade safe. We're going to continue in our chat. So don't leave the chat room. We're going to continue here. We're going to get Andrew live in a second over on YouTube. Thank you so much. If you want to try us out, you can do so. Pre-market 24 gets you access to 7 days, and you can continue right in our chat right now. So come join the fun, come join the market open, and we will see you there. Take care, guys. Trade safe.